What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we've got another viewer's car. This is Michael's Ford Mustang EcoBoost, and Michael's dad has always had Ford F-150 Raptors. We have filmed their Gen 1 and Gen 2 Raptors, which is very, very cool, and they are big into the US Ford. So when Michael decided to buy a car, of course, it was going to be a Mustang. He has also made a couple of very nice mods to it, and the reason why we're driving it today is mainly because it has those mods, but also because it's a manual gearbox. And we drove the facelifted version, automatic gearbox convertible, so it's basically the trifecta of rubbish for the Mustang EcoBoost. And we thought we should take a pre-facelift manual gearbox coupe to have a serious look at this car and to see if it can be fun to drive as well, because we love the V8 Mustang and the EcoBoost always left kind of a bad taste in our mouth, and I think today we are going to be able to fix that. So I'm going to show you around it, I'm going to show you the mods that Michael has made to his car, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Now, this is a 2016 car, as I said, so it's a pre-facelift, and that means that it has 317 horsepower, because the facelifted versions only have 290, so that's a decrease of 27 horsepower, which is kind of ridiculous. Anyway, of course, the Mustang EcoBoost looks exactly the same as the GT, bar one thing on the rear, which I will show you later on. So we've got a very nice and aggressive front bumper with a little splitter in there as well. A black car with a stripe on there. I still really love the look of this generation Mustang. I think it's such a successful design. Very cool lights as well, with these 3 daytime running lights. And then we arrive at 3 of the most important mods that Michael has made to his car. So number 1 is he installed these 20-inch wheels, 275 section tires at the front, 305s at the rear, with Pirelli P0 tires, and these are Vossen wheels, I think. Yeah, Vossen forged wheels, so that saves a bit of weight, unsprung mass, of course. He also installed these upgraded Brembo brakes at the front and at the rear, I think. But especially the front brakes, of course, are the most important ones, and this is a big upgrade. Brake pedal is really good. The feel, it's very bitey, and performance is really extraordinary, so that is a very good mod. And he also lowered it with some Eibach lowering springs. So those 3 things, well, especially the brakes and the lowering, really does a lot for this car, which is very nice. Little side skirt there as well. You can check out Michael on Instagram, Raptor_Gen 2. And at the rear we've got a very nice spoiler here to spruce up the rear of the Mustang. And then we've got a Magnaflow catback exhaust, but it is completely straight catback, so there are no silencers in there anymore, as you can see. And this also does quite a lot for this car, because it just makes it a little bit more raspy, a little bit louder as well, a little bit deeper, and it just gives it a little bit of character, which it can definitely use. Now at the rear you can also see that this is an EcoBoost, because we have the little Mustang pony here. If you have a GT, that says GT on there. So that's the way you can tell the difference, one of the ways. So let's check out the engine. So the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, which of course we know from the Ford Focus RS, but it does have a little less power in the Mustang. So it's got 317 horsepower, 434 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 5.8 seconds, which is utterly impossible to achieve. I've tried multiple times. The fastest I've been able to do is like 6.6. So it is quite a bit off from what Ford claims. Top speed 234 kilometers an hour. And Michael installed this K&N air filter, which definitely gives you a lot of intake sound. You can really hear that when you drive the car, which is quite a nice touch. I mean, if you're driving an EcoBoost, you know, you better be able to hear it, right? Just embrace the turbo. But the problem with this car is that the V8 Mustang, when it came out, this generation, so the first gen, the pre-facelift, had 430 horsepower, 426, somewhere along those lines. And this car, of course, couldn't be too close to that, because performance-wise, a V8 is not that quick stock. So if you make this EcoBoost too powerful, especially with the turbo and with a lot of torque that comes with that, yeah, it's going to be too close to the V8. So they had to sort of keep it down a little bit. And that just means that it feels a bit underpowered. It feels grossly underpowered. Just get out of the way for that big thing that's coming over there. And we'll do the interior at the same time. So, unfortunately, it does feel a little bit underpowered, but it really feels like there's more in here. Like, you know, there's potential. So we've got, what's up guys, an extra here. We have the rear seats down for some extra sound and also for safety, right?
Health and safety.
Health and safety first. Do you have your vest, your yellow vest? All right, great. So I'll turn the AC down a little bit. Just keep it going for the GoPro because it is hot out today. Anyway, continuing with my story, it does have potential. And of course we have driven some tuned Focus RS's with this engine. And I mean, you can get 400 plus horsepower from this engine relatively easily. So that would definitely improve this car a lot, because it is quite a bit better than I was expecting, this car actually. It has a nice fruity sound. It definitely adds to the driving experience compared to stock. And it just makes the car a little bit more serious as well. Like a little bit more driver focused as well. It's just that when you put your foot down, it's just not that impressive. I think it's also hampered by the fact that it's got quite a long travel throttle pedal, and it just feels like a little bit more sluggish even because of that. But as long as you don't rev it out too much, I think like up to 5,500 RPM, when you shift right there just before 6, it actually feels pretty good, especially on a B road. When you get to the Autobahn, that's a different story, but on a B road it is actually quite a nice amount of power. Or a nice amount, it's sufficient. Now, as I said, those Eibach springs, they do a lot, because you already have a much lighter front end compared to the V8, of course. So you have a really nice turn in, and that Eibach spring set just enhances that even more, which is quite nice. So the sound is really nice. Sometimes you get a little bit of a crackle, which doesn't feel like too artificial. I mean, yeah, there is a lot to say for this car, especially as an alternative to, you know, your common European hot hatch. It's basically the same thought, you know, having a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in a relatively cheap practical car. It just has rear-wheel drive and looks very cool. And with this Eibach spring set, it actually handles really well, and those brakes are great. You've got a great shift as well, super nice and tight. So yeah, quite surprised, I have to say. I was not expecting to like this car this much, and I think if you put a tune on this car, it will be quite amazing as like a hot hatch alternative. Pretty cool. So on the Autobahn, as I said, the underpowered feeling does become more apparent. So red line is 6.5, but as you can hear, not much happens when you get close to that. So you're better off shifting at like 6 at the latest. So top speed 234 kilometers an hour. Little bang on the upshift. And we can actually go right because there might actually be a faster car approaching. So 200 kilometers an hour, and you can see the acceleration. Yeah, it does need a bit of time to get to that 234. We do have some space. Had a nice weekend? What did you do?
Visited grandma.
Grandma, nice, nice.
She moved.
Was hot this weekend, right?
It was.
Oh, so hot. Temperatures are absolutely nuts. Alright, so we just passed 230 kilometers an hour. You can see the hood is starting to shake a little bit. That is why they say shaker right there. Something pretty much all American cars have. But this is 235 on the speedo. That's pretty much it. 100 to 200, of course, we also measured that, which is not very fast. Also not really fast for this amount of power. It's closest to a 1999 Saab 9.3 with 230 horsepower. So, yeah, also with a manual gearbox. It's not really fast for its power, but we've noticed that before with these engines. Even those 400 plus horsepower Focus RSs, they don't feel that fast and they don't perform that well for their for the claimed power. It's just a thing with those engines. But still, that's the case. But I would still put a tune on this car, and I mean, if you can get it close to like 400 horsepower, this would be perfect. A very, very nice, I keep saying it, alternative to a hot hatch. That's just, I like this better than a hot hatch. I think this is more fun and cooler. Right?
Yeah, but I would get rid of the wide tires because it's pretty hard to break traction.
Yeah, if you put some more narrow tires on here, you would be able to slide it around a bit more easily. Because now, nothing really happens.
Go get him.
There he goes.
Panamera diesel.
And he's gone.
Jesus Christ, human DSG.
That's it, guys. The Panamera is gone and we are going to return Michael's car. Michael, thank you so much for taking it to us. We've had a lot of fun. You've got an amazing car. Honestly, I'm quite surprised by how much fun we had today. So that's always a good thing. To you guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.